What is going on, everybody? Anon here, and it's been crazy with what's going on with Sword and Shield, with all of the boxes effectively hitting all-time highs with some massive spikes. But what we're seeing is the tail's kind of starting to wag the dog here with Scarlet and Violet. So, in my view, effectively what happened, we saw the Sword and Shield boxes push up in the middle of 2024. So as those boxes increased in price, people started to look for better options to buy, invest, collect, speculate, whatever adjective you want to use. So therein kicked off the Scarlet and Violet boom. Obviously, following Twilight Masquerade, the Greninja buyouts in October, and the rest is history. So as we've seen, the Scarlet and Violet booster boxes basically all go north of $200, and we saw Journey Together release at like 260, 250. We're going to see Destined Rivals release probably 270, because as we'll see here, the bottom's in through pre-release, and the cards are still worth a ton of money. People started to say, hey, if I have to pay $220 for Journey Together, which is a brand new set, reprint window for at least the next 2 years, why don't I go look at Astro Radiance at 250, Brilliant Stars at 250, Silver Tempest at 250? Some of those other sets, and then obviously you have Evolving Fusion, Lost Origins, brilliant, Chilling Reign, which I think is the big laggard there, which again, opportunity. So the pendulum swung back to the clearly out of print products, and those boxes have pushed up significantly. Now we have the next thing. What happens next? Well, people start looking at the early phase, the SV 1 through 4, including 151, and now they're looking at it and saying, well, there's probably some opportunity here because they may reprint, they may not reprint. This, in my opinion, this is where people get stuck. And the reason I say that is it's effectively where the bull market overshoots. The bear market overshot to the downside when boxes were selling for $79.99. Bull markets always overshoot to the upside. And it comes down to folks believing that everything goes straight up and nothing bad can happen. So we'll walk through what we're seeing here, but I do want to show for myself a little bit. So we just changed our Elite plan in our Discord. It's $14.99. We are offering Final Fantasy play boxes, all the Magic play boxes going forward. The Final Fantasy boxes are $840 for a case. Works out to $140 at ship, sales tax, double box, etc. Right now they're selling for $185 plus tax on TCG Player. So if you're interested, check out Discord. Feel free to sub. We'll get you a coupon right away. I have plenty of product. I'm not concerned. This Friday, which is tomorrow, we are doing our Super Premium Collection bundle. Unfortunately, it's only going to be available to the premium members, which there is a wait list that is pretty long at this point, because I'm not going to load it up with if I can't feed product. I'm going to have about 80 bundles, maybe hold a few back. Obviously, super hard product to get. A ton of it went to big box stores, as everybody's seeing with people camping outside. But I'm doing it as a bundle. So the bundle is going to be, and I'll post it in a little bit of in a teaser video that I'll do after this. It's going to be the Super Premium Collection. It's going to be an ETB. It is going to be 2 booster bundles, an EV pouch, a poster collection, a sticker collection, and a 2-pack blister. But to make it fun, I have my 2 prismatic evolutions Pokemon Center ETBs that I got off the last drop. So in 2 of the packs, and this is just having a little bit of fun with folks, I'm going to replace the regular ETB with the Pokemon Center ETB. So unfortunately, nobody who's not subscribed can participate because, again, there's a wait list. But again, you can always join Elite. For other sales that we have a big booster box sale coming probably on Saturday of this week. I just got all the boxes in. A lot of times that will trickle to the Elite folks, and they'll be able to get product below market. Anyway, just want to talk through that because it is a big change. But let's get to Scarlet and Violet, and this is super exciting. So SV base, all-time high, 204. So SV base is the one set that I think is not going to get reprinted because they printed so much of this. Um, I know there's a ton of people on YouTube saying that SV1 through 4 are safe or relatively safe. I don't think they're safe. And the reason I say that, and somebody did a video today about me saying Paldea Evolved was getting reprinted. I said Paldean Fates. Slight difference, but appreciate the pub. I don't think they're safe. And the reason I don't think they're safe is, as we saw with Scarlet, or with Sword and Shield, we saw a massive dump of the end of the tail end of the sets, right as things were starting to rotate out. So that would be Q4 of this year. We do know there's going to be some additional printing capacity. Whether they allocate it to reprinting Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, and Paradox Rift remains to be seen. And how much do they print? If any, they may not print anything, in which case, hey, everybody's high-fiving. But this is where the speculation is, and where I see the dollars flowing. Because, I mean, there's only a limited amount of people that are going to buy Fusion Strike. I like that. Fusion Strike for $950, or Evolving for $2,000. So SV Base, in my view, is probably the safest of these. Paldea Evolved has gone to $288, and it's still selling through 7 a day. Here's your average sales on the 15th, which is today. Here's the average sales on the 6th. And the reason I want to show this is, on the 6th, everybody thought we were in a bear market. It's crazy how quickly things shift in 9 days, when we're in the middle of a raging bull market. And then all the Timmies that get scared, they all just get shit on. And all the people that listen to half of the idiots on YouTube saying the sky is falling, they all get shit on. So you got to pay attention to the tape. You got to pay attention to the price action, and just don't listen to anybody. Don't even listen to me. Just see, look at what you're seeing, and then just react to it. Because at the end of the day, every one of these products historically has gone up over time. Now, you're not going to flip it and make 50%, but there's no bad price points. There's just better entry points than others. It's relative. So Paldea Evolved 288. This has gone completely nuts. Rudy did a sale, claims he sold 1,400 boxes at $250 a box. I bought a case. I was happy to buy a case because most of my cases I sold just to kind of churn inventory. But whatever. Obsidian Flames, the dumpster fire of Scarlet Violet, $230 a box because you can't find them out there. Paradox is at $210, all-time high. So all these are all-time highs. Temporal, $205, all-time high. I think it was on the Pokémon USA podcast, which I enjoy it. I think Eli has some good takes. I mean, he's young, he's a kid. So some of them are a little off, but I think he has some really good insight in it, and I do enjoy it. And then yeah, Alex, it's the most balanced that Alex gets. So he is very good in that podcast, and I do enjoy it. But they mentioned that Temporal was getting a reprint. They also mentioned Stellar Crown was getting a reprint. Now it's not. I'm not here to point fingers, lob grenades. I haven't seen it. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Temporal did get a big reprint at year end. I know I got trashed a little bit, but it did go through distro because it went through, at the very least, it went through ACD and Meta. I'm sure it went through the other guys, and they just sat on it. So I got product. They didn't just pull it out of their ass. So Twilight, 228, all-time high. Same as last week. It's selling. Stellar Crown, 207, all-time high. Another set that probably doesn't get a reprint. Now, I doubt they're holding back a smaller second wave of this from release still. But you never know. You never know. Surging 229. So this is the crazy thing. So somebody mentioned today in Discord that Danny Phantom said he got 2 cases of this from distro. Rudy, in his video last night, I saw it at like 1 a.m. because I was busy. But he said he got a layer of a pallet of these. I got 35 cases of Surging Sparks across distribution. Now, the price wasn't all at original price, but the pricing was much, much better, much, much more competitive than what we saw with the last wave. And there's a lot more product. So I don't know. I don't know why some of those guys didn't get it. Yeah, I hope it's not because they pissed off their distributor talking shit on YouTube. That's the last thing you want to do, because those guys are a godsend. But I don't quite understand that because, again, I got 35 cases, so it's a good chunk. Anyway, journey together. 199 bucks. This continues to slow down. This one's going to be in the doldrums for a while. Quite honestly, if this really starts to slow down and there's a second wave that comes in 4 or 5 months, and there's a bunch of it that comes in at original distro price, uh, I'm going to eat as much of this as I can, just because it's the hated products that nobody wants that all of a sudden, they get back in style. And right now, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of singles. Everybody and their brother was ripping it. So, we'll see. Now, it's really slowed down in sell through. I mean, it's only selling at 27 a day, but it's probably selling like 10 boxes a day. And this is the enhanced and the non-enhanced. So let's move to Destined, because this is super interesting. So I checked the pricing before the video, and this is the ETB, not the booster box. April 7th open at 160, crazy ass hype. I think there were some listings for booster boxes that were like $900. It's just pure insanity. So here to May 6th, we're at 116. Now we've swung back up to 118. The booster boxes are still at 266. This is the time when people just start to either take them off the market or increase them a little bit. It's somewhat of a collective price step up, if you will, because a week from now, every idiotic store owner is going to dump these on TCG Player. It's going to be raised to zero because I guess everybody desperately needs $100 and some dollars, really badly. But what's interesting, and again, I checked the prices before, the value of this set is going to be over $2,000, which is 50%, 60% higher than Surging Sparks. Sensi the Garchomp in Japanese is about $240. The Moltres is $180. And again, this is a Japanese version. And then the Rocket's Mewtwo is $320. So, as I've mentioned multiple times, the English version of the Japanese cards recently, in recent sets, have had about a 2-to-1 multiplier. So the Mewtwo's at 320 Japanese. It's going to be about 640 in English. And that all makes sense to me, especially based on the price points. Obviously the butt Pikachu came out at 500, spiked up to 600, 620 for like a second. And now that's selling off south of 300 because, again, you can invest in singles or buy singles and think they're going to go up for sets that are just getting mass open. It's not going to work. Even in a PSA 10, it's not going to work because there's constant supply coming to market. That's why the sealed side of this makes all the sense in the world. So the value is in Destined Rivals. And I made the comment before, at $350, it's going to have the value in the box. Now, would I pay that for it? No, because the market's 266. I'm a fucking idiot. But there's going to be enough value to, in my opinion, to support the value of the boxes. Now, the sell-through has been interesting because on TCG Player, it's lagged the last two sets, but part of that is the fact that it's a much higher price point. So the gross dollars of sales are up, but the individual units are down. Now, I don't know what impact that's going to have post-release, but in my view, I'd much rather see a higher quantity of units get put away than higher dollar amount. Now, full disclosure, we ran our Destined set sale last week, and we blew through everything in about 35 seconds. Now, again, we sold our boxes at a pretty hefty discount. The price of our bundle, just the booster box for our premium folks was like $180 a box, and then it came with a sealed case, guaranteed sealed case, 2 ETBs, 2 booster bundles, all in ship for $12.75. Which you're not going to see that price anywhere else because, again, it's not about extracting as much profit as possible now. It's looking in the future. And again, where I see this, the volume coming to the market for black and white has increased, and it's increased fairly significantly. Now, that could be because my spend is way up versus Prismatic Evolutions, which it is, but it's not up 3x. So there's more volume coming to market. we have Mega Evolutions 1 coming out in September. Provided they do what I'm told they're going to do, and they're dumping a significant amount of product on market. I don't want to say there's 2 times the number of booster boxes out there or 3 times, but the market's going to get to the point where it's not completely out of control. And the scalping is going to not be a thing anymore. In fact, the restock notification bot, I feel bad for some of the folks that built their business around that, because it's probably going to die a quick death come September, October, when there's no longer scalping. Now you'll always have your products that are hard to find, your Pokemon Center ones, but it's going to be hit or miss. Again, in my view, just because of what I know, what I've told about freeing up print capacity of Pokemon and direction, and some of the other folks that are relatively in the know have said the same thing. But getting back to a bull market overshoots because people are going to push up SV base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, Paradox Rift, probably Temporal too. I could see all of those boxes being right around $250, $300 at year end, and Pokemon thanking everybody with a massive dump of product going into the new year. I could also see them not, and these boxes just taking off. But the funds have to go somewhere. We have crypto at all-time highs. The market's at all-time highs. You have all of these people that were in the Sword and Shield era. Now they have all these products that they've made a killing on. As they sell them off, the funds have to go somewhere. It's not going into new product unless you have distro access and you have 1,000 boxes to put aside at $95. So again, you got to buy something. You got Shrouded Fable. Quite honestly, that might be the best value out here because we're getting close to that being a year out, and if you can get it sub 50, it's probably not a bad place to be. Because I'd be shocked next year at this time if that's not $100+ ETB, and it's never going to get a reprint, at least in my opinion. But anyway, I just want to talk through this, just in general with the market cycle, what I see coming, and the sets in general, because I think there's relative safety in SV base. Paldea Evolved and Obsidian, I wouldn't buy at this price point. I could be totally wrong, but I wouldn't. Paradox and Temporal, I think you're fine up to probably 225, 250. And then what's interesting is with the size of the product that just came to market for Surging Sparks, at least from what I physically received and paid for, and the fact that it hasn't moved that much, I don't think there's a whole lot of downside on Twilight and Stellar either, because the product's just getting eaten up. And, again, the amount of margin on this wave of Stellar or of Surging Sparks was greater by a couple magnitudes than the last reprint. And we have not seen a race to zero. So stores could be healthier. The unhealthy stores could have just not gotten any product. But that's where we're at, guys. So it's super interesting because we are in raging bull mode. All of these sets are repricing higher, except for Surging, obviously, and Journey Together. So anyway, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and take a look at Elite. There's a nice tutorial. I actually posted it online just for the hell of it. There's a nice tutorial in Discord. Kind of tells you what it's all about. Feel free to PM me. Happy to have a conversation. So, all right, guys, have a great night. We'll talk tomorrow.